All right, welcome back. We're midterm problem number 4. This is Scott Hamlin, and we're going to implement a function called deep reverse with one argument, and it's L. L is a list of lists, okay, whose elements are integers. These are the parameters of the problem. You're going to mutate the arguments such that it reverses elements and the order of the elements. So this one took me a little bit of time. I needed to look up, well, I get to the points that gave me some troubles here. But we'll start off and let's get our actual function going. But it did take me quite a while to do this one, just because it was good because I got to learn a lot more about lists and how to change them. And but once you got it going, it went pretty fast. Okay, so let's we're gonna assumes well, we don't assume anything. L is a list of lists whose elements are integers. And this function mutates L such that it reverses its elements and also reverses the order of the integer elements in every element of L. Yeah, that was a little tricky. Does not return anything. Okay. Which that one also throws me sometimes, how to figure out, okay, because I've written things and you run it and then nothing happens. But I got this, you know, you don't put print or anything on this. It just, you call it and it should do what it does and it outputs it. You know, at least on the screen in a Python, it outputs it. Okay, so this actual function we're going to make. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, why don't we first, it helps me visualize. Let's put our test case, okay? L test, so I can visualize what I'm trying to mutate or adjust. So we got, this was given to us, I think, in the problem to help us. So we got a list of lists, all right? So let's make this 5, 6, 7. Let's make this consistent. So that list is, it looks fine, right? Brackets, brackets, commas between. Yep, that should be fine. So that's what we're testing. And then we will end up calling deep reverse L test. Okay. And I shouldn't be printing anything, so that's what happens. But I think for mine, I think that you can use this. You have like a variable, so like A equals that. So, but for my test, I want to print L test, and also this is looking like it's part of the definition. So Shift Tab, bring it all over. So that's not part of the actual function. Okay, there's our test. Okay, how do we want to start this? Okay, I need a temporary list to work with. I also want a counter. Since we're going to be taking you can't directly mutate L without screwing it up, so you need like a holder. So first thing I want to do is I want to go through every element of L. So deep reverse is getting your list of lists as a variable. So for every element in L, so this is going to, for every list item in L, what we want to do for, and we'll do another for loop, for K, okay, which is just an item, in reversed, and this is what I had to look up. I mean, I tried to do it with, you know, decrementing and everything, but this is just so much cleaner. So, so here what we're doing is we're actually, instead of taking, so element is the list, And now we're going to go ahead and say an element is, this is tricky and I had to practice with it because just to make sure that, hey, does this actually work? This element is the same as that element. So now we're looking at every k an element. If this was an integer, it wouldn't work, but it's a list, so k will work. So we're going to look at every element in the list. Okay, and I want to put a note here. This is going to reverse my list elements of L. Okay, so it's going to reverse 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 to make it 2, 1, 4, 3, 7, 6, 5. All right, so now here's where temp comes in play. We want temp, and this was, I was fooling around with what's the best way to just add to an empty. Append. Append is perfect. We're just going to add it to the end. And we want to append k, which is, in this case, 1. I mean, for k, we're doing a reverse. So we're taking the element and we're doing the reverse in that element. So we're taking the 2, okay, and then we're putting in the front of the first element in temp. So we're taking that, and then we're going to go, and this for loop is going to go through each element. So we'll go through each one, and basically it's going to go 2, 1. And now we're going to go L, and see, right now temp just has one element, and it's a list of 2 and 1. So we can't keep using temp because it will look like one complete list. So now we're just going to go back, and here's where counter comes into place. I've already set counter to 0, so we're going to go to the first element L, and we're just going to replace it with temp. Okay, so now you have your 2, 1, it just goes into there, and then now we want to increment counter by 1. Okay, and now we want to go ahead and clear temp because we're going to reuse it. We want what we had in there before. So that's going to keep going through every. Now it's going to jump right back up to here because we're done with this for loop. And now, so we're going here. Now we're going to go next element of L. We're going to grab the 3, 4, reverse those, put it in there, clear temp, and do the same thing with 5, 6, and 7. So right now, when we're done with this for loop, we're going to have this list, except all these elements are reversed. There's only one last thing we need to do. Now we have to reverse the elements in L-test. And we've done this before in, I think, in class exercises, so this is not too hard at all. And now, once again, I could have probably used temp, which, yeah, I probably could have used temp, but I didn't. I used a new mod list. So I want a mod list, and what I want to do here is I want to copy L, because if you don't do this and you're trying to reverse elements, you're going to end up repeating elements. You need a clean list. So you want to make a copy of L. You don't want mod list tied to L. So mod list, if I make a change to mod list, it's not going to change L because I've made a copy. So for I in range, and we're going to go through 0, and I want to go through the length of mod list. Okay, so 1 less, so it's going to go, so whatever mod list is, if it's got 10 elements, it's going to go 0 through 9. Okay, because the length of mod list is not inclusive. All right, so, and this for loop is going to do the reverse elements of L. Okay, and this one's pretty easy, L. And we're going to go for the I is going to be 0 initially. We're going to replace that with what's in mod list, the length of mod list, which say for the because the first item is this, if the length of mod list is 1, 2, 3 items, so there's our length, and I want minus 1, minus I. Okay, what this does is I want to find the last element in mod list. Okay, and then I want to decrement down. Well, if I use the length of mod list, which is going to be 1, 2, it's going to be 3. If I try to pull it from 3, it's going to be out of bounds. All right, I can't use I is 0 because I didn't start it from 1. So I need to, right off the bat, I need to decrement it by 1. So, and thereafter, I will come into play because it will be a 1, we'll keep decrementing it down. And then we're going to put it, and the reason why we want to stay with I at 0, because we want to use I in this L also, without having to put an I minus 1. So L0 is going to equal the last part of mod list, and this is how we switch them all around. Pretty simple if you're looking at it at home, because you know how this all works. All right, so we are done now. Now if I called it, let's make sure. Now I didn't print anything. If I use this, if I just note that out and run this, I don't get any. Mod list not defined. Okay. Let me see. That's interesting. I got an error in there. Mod list not defined. Okay. Well, let me put that up here. See if that works. Mod list equals an empty list. See if that makes any difference. Okay. Oh, deep reverse test. Okay. No. Li equals mod list length. Okay. Maybe I'm missing some. Okay. Mod list. All right. Mod list is not defined. That's funny. Okay. Let me. I'm going to stop the video for a second here. Let me work on this and I'll explain to you what I figured out, okay? Okay, I am back. And yeah, it was really simple. Well, which is typical. I just didn't, it didn't dawn on me. Yeah, well, how about a capital L right there? That's the problem, okay? Sorry about that. Let's go back and put this back in here and just see what happens if you don't try and print it. Okay, you run it. You're not going to get anything back. They told me not to print anything, but if I were to put a print on here, we have 7654321, which is a reverse of the elements and the reverse of the order of the individual list items. Okay, there we go for problem number 4. And we will see you in a few minutes for the next one. Thank you.